Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange for Jim, and today we got ourselves some more Pega certification study to go through. We have some more Unreal Engine studying to do, 1 hour from now. We got some more videos to upload, and then later on tonight we're going to be doing some Terraria, both single player and multiplayer. Single player initially, and then probably about 30 minutes later we'll be doing some multiplayer with Blackheart. Um, but if you're just here for the Pega study videos, maybe you don't have any interest in the rest that I just mentioned. That's perfectly understandable. You're still welcome to come on, come join me at the streams while when I do this live. You can feel free to chat with me, as I do um, these topics, these challenges, and, discuss with me, everything concerning the Pega environment if you want. Or any of the other topics that I go through on these daily streams. So hopefully you enjoy um, hopefully you enjoy these videos. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm with a like and subscribe, and uh, we'll continue growing uh, as we proceed. So uh, most I can do is just keep on pushing forward and hope for some really good outcomes. So now, obviously, my content won't be perfect for everybody. But I still thank anybody that is willing to kind of give me some uplifting praises and pushes me to continue working towards the end goal for pretty much anything that I do. I really do appreciate those positive comments. Um, I don't mind negative comments if they're more around the idea of constructive criticism, meaning, hey, um, if you need to be negative, um, turn it into something that is more constructive for the individual. That way, they can take that and learn to maybe try to do something a little bit better. Um, just saying something like, "Hey, YouTube, why did you recommend this video?" Not very constructive. Um, but maybe something along the lines of, hey, um, I appreciated the one comment that I got that was basically saying, hey, I can't hear the game audio. And, well, that happens from time to time. I can't I don't always catch it, you know. And unfortunately, if I don't have any viewers there to help me out with that, then it happens sometimes. So, um, not much I can really do about it. I do my best to work with what I got. Um, so yeah. Now, for those of you here for the Pega certification streams, let me talk about what these are all about, who am I, and pretty much why I'm doing it. Um, so, uh, I'm currently an unemployed software developer whose last job was working with a company who gave us a authorized training partner to teach us about um, the Pega environment. And afterwards, we were sent off to contracts to do work using said certifications and Pega environment knowledge. However, the authorized training partner that our particular group had, a good majority of my peers and I really did not appreciate what was being discussed, what was being talked about. Um, he would not answer our questions, and it got pretty bad. a lot of us pretty much went self-study um, just to try to get that certification because they wanted us to have it, in order to keep us um, in their workforce. Um, we asked, some of us asked to be placed back into another training cycle with a different authorized training partner for Pega, but that didn't happen. They didn't do that. They pushed us directly into a contract, and well, um, I didn't get my certification. The one and only time that I took it for 8.6, I was not ready for it. I was already still in self-study at that point, and I knew that I had not covered everything that I needed to do to pass the certification, so I knew that I was going to fail, but they basically forced it on me anyway. Oh, I need to blow my nose. Right back. All right. Sorry about that. Um, so yeah, the one time that I tried the certification, I failed, and well, it was pretty much on me, even after that point, to continue working on the self-study to get the certification. I was kind of hoping that I could be put back into another training cycle with a different authorized training partner, but that never happened. I was kind of hoping that when I got to a contract job that I would have a little bit more of a mentorship, but that didn't happen. But at the end of the day, it fell on me to continue working towards the certification, but I did not do the necessary work to do that while I was also tackling a full-time job. Um, but you know, that falls on me. I was kind of hoping for more, but it never came, so it still fell on my shoulders to do the necessary studying to try taking the certification again so that I could pass it. But this is what these streams are all about now. You know, basically forcing me to continue working towards that goal of getting that certification, because otherwise I would just not have the focus. Otherwise, um, you know, uh, the the workload, that helps, keep me focused. Um, I go to a job and I can get the work done. It gives me a goal to kind of go towards, to work towards and stuff like that. Hence the reason why I kind of wanted more of a mentorship, more of an authorized training partner, whatever, to kind of keep me focused on the goal at hand. But that never happened. So, um, but that's what these videos are all about. Now, if you're watching these and you're thinking that I'm some form of authorized training partner or an instructor-led training, then no, I'm sorry. You're going to have to remove that from your thought line. I do not have all the knowledge about Pega to provide you with um, that wealth of information. Now, um, if you want to, you're welcome to put in any kind of comment right now in chat during these live streams, or put a comment in these videos once they've been released to the public. Um, especially if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Okay, I will do my best to answer them if I can. If I can't, then I will go to some of my peers that have continued working, or um, the veterans that I worked with, on my last contract job. I would ask them, what the answer might be. So don't feel like your question isn't going to go anywhere. Okay. Know that it will be answered one way or another. Okay. Or, hey, I hope that maybe the Pega community in itself can help out as well. Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be just me that might answer the question. If someone else in the Pega community sees the question, they are welcome to answer it as well. Okay, especially if you're, a veteran, senior, whatever. Okay, I encourage the community to kind of help each other out on this. So, we're all trying to work towards that goal for certification. So, um, you know, let's try to help each other out on reaching those goals. Okay. Now, um, concerning the topics here, business architect. If you're here for the certification for business architect, that's already been covered. Okay, we've already gone through the 2 missions and 2 modules for 8.7. Okay, it has been completed. Now, I will mention that these 2 modules cover the Pega Express delivery, but I don't feel like these 2 modules covers enough. There's 12% on the certification exam. You're going to want to know as much as you can about the Pega Express to pass that, at least that portion of the certification. Be ready for that. So, um, I'm not covering 8.8 or 23 because I wanted to cover 8.7 because that is currently what's translated. So anybody else from around the world can watch these videos. Um, can read in their language, but maybe still follow me along as I read out in English. You know, maybe maybe that will help you with learning some English as well. I don't know. I'm just saying. Gotta look at all the positives, right? Um, so concerning the system architect, which is what I'm aiming for the certification. Um, Now we've covered, um, you know, tried going through the localizing the UI form, but it was not. I've, as I mentioned the day before, um, when trying to do the challenge, it felt like when I tried to upload the zip file, it wasn't taking any of the files in. I suspect, now I could be wrong on this, I suspect that their server does not allow for any incoming files. It will not allow for any uploads being handled on an instance. If that's true, then there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, they're basically blocking me from completing the everything within the challenge. If it is blocking me from uploading files, then I can't do any proper translations. It won't accept those translations into their system, and therefore there's nothing that I can do about modifying this um, into it being completed. Okay, if it won't handle the upload, it's just speculation on my part. I don't know 100%, but because um, the files, when I uploaded the files and I saw zeros on the files, um, translated and whatnot, it gave me that impression that it wasn't taking in any of the files. So I still have not received any replies back concerning the suggestions concerning this challenge, so I don't know. Um, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they do reply back to me, before I, finish all of this, but we'll see. Um, we finished off enabling accessibility features in applications. There was a problem with some of the questions on there. I sent suggestions in for that. Again, no replies as of this point, but that's okay. Maybe we'll see it after Christmas. Okay, maybe in January I'll be seeing some replies back. Um, we'll see. We'll find out. But we're going to be moving on to the next challenge here. Supposedly it's going to be for 10 minutes. We'll see. Now, it's only going to be one task, so it's going to be a short, um, it's going to be a short challenge. As you can see, only 10 steps in this task, so so not much here in terms of content. We may need to move on to the next topic afterwards, depending on how quickly we get through this. So we may go on to the simulating an external data source. This one might be a little too much though, because it's apparently 15 minutes long and the module quiz is 10 minutes, so we might have to have a very short challenge session today. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, um, okay. While I get this ready to initialize, another point of note, there's the challenge walkthrough. I don't use the challenge walkthrough unless there's a problem with the detail tasks. Um, let's say that there's, step A, step B, and step C, right? But the detail task goes from step A to step C, but skips step B, and I don't know what step B might be. Okay, I don't know how they got to step C from step A, for example, right? So then and only then would I really ever use the challenge walkthrough to see if there was anything that they did in the walkthrough here that's different from the detailed tasks. Now, the detailed tasks shouldn't have any skip steps. You should be able to know everything that you need to do in order to get to, um, what you need to work on. But it doesn't always necessarily work out that way. Um, so yeah. Okay, so the scenario is to ensure compliance with government regulations on accessibility. The GoGo Road wants to assess the user experience for users with color vision deficiencies. Run the accessibility inspector on each view in the application to preview the display for users with one or of the four listed color vision deficiencies. As a best practice, use the accessibility inspector on a step as you configure the user interface. This allows you to identify and resolve accessibility issues during development. For this challenge, focus on running the accessibility inspector and identify any issues on each view. You do not need to fix any of the issues identified. So it's just basically showing you, hey, here's all the issues that you you know, might encounter, but we're not going to fix them. It's like, okay. So, um, but then again, some of these um, might be graphic in nature. Maybe they are, um, like maybe they're trying to show off the company logo, but with the colors used, it kind of looks like just a blank slate. There's nothing there, so they can't necessarily see the logo, right? So, all right. So in Dev Studio, from the Create menu, click New and Assistance Request. Create a new assistance request case. So that's what we're going to be focused on. So now, it might be in my best interest to maybe see about like messing around with a few more of the features in the accessibility to kind of maybe show a little bit more of what's going on, maybe. Um, Saying that probably won't be able to do the next topic quickly enough. So we can just kind of play around with this instance of the of this challenge, which I recommend anyway. Anybody that is working on this particular challenge, or any of the challenges really, make sure that you play around with it a little bit. Use it to your advantage. They put it there for your um, not only for you to work on this particular challenge, but I would use it to expand on that, learn more, play around with it more, that kind of thing. So, all right, so we're going to go to Dev Studio. And then we're going to go ahead and create new assistance request. So, okay, after the first view is displayed in the status bar at the bottom of the screen, click Accessibility to open the Accessibility Inspector. Probably would have been great if they showed that a little bit more, but the Accessibility Inspector identifies accessibility issues in any UI rule rendering on screen, including rules used by DevStudio that are provided in standard Pega platform rule sets. So, again, they don't really show what that is, but so here's our new assistance request, and now we move down here to the toolbar, and we look across here to see where the accessibility. Now, I mean, one could quickly look at this, see something, an icon in particular, and go, yeah, this is most likely it. But, I just want to kind of show each of the icons, uh, the accessibility is, kind of showing a individual in a wheelchair, okay, or the wheelchair icon. That's that's typically something that is synonymous with accessibility. Okay, so it's understandable on that. But you know, toggle live data, performance, blah blah blah. But we want to do the accessibility inspector. So here's our accessibility inspector. They're showing content of 82, structural 5, and compatibility of 1. So, in the accessibility inspector pane in the disability preview list, select that particular word, absence of color, to display the current view in black or white rather than color. So we want to select this, and they're only showing the color version, or the um, color visibility issues. Um, so as you can see, this is what happens when you do not have any kind of color, or you can't see any color whatsoever. You know, um, so whereas you know if I selected none here, then we're back to color. Now, like I said before, if me selecting this value isn't changing anything for you, then well, guess what? You may have the chromatopsia. So just letting you know. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're probably already aware of that if you're trying to study along with this. So if you don't, then okay. um, I guess I helped you out. Okay, so display the current view in black and white rather than color. So repeat step 3, selecting each of the values in the disability preview list to display the current view as seen by a user with that color vision impairment. So not only did they want us to do that one, but they want to look at the, or let me go to none, and then we'll go to the red-green confusion here and see how the red here has now turned into a very yellowishy green, I guess you might say, or a very light green. So that's that one. Let's go back to none again, just to kind of reset it. Reset our eyes back to the original colors, and then we'll go with another red-green confusion, which again kind of changes it to a similar color there, but not completely. So this kind of gives it more of a like a rust color, I would imagine, than anything else. More of a reddish color than this one here. This one has more of a greenish coloring than this one does. So that might be kind of the reasoning. Like this one right here might not have as pronounced green, so you see more of the red, whereas this one might have more red missing, so the green is a little bit more pronounced, maybe. And then let's go back to none, and then we will go to the yellow-blue confusion, which all of our blues turn into more of a cyan color for the most part. So, okay. So that's us kind of going through each one of those. In the upper left corner of the Accessibility Inspector pane, click Close to close the Accessibility Inspector and restore the original unimpaired display. Click Continue to advance the case to the next step in the process. Repeat steps 2 through 4 to use the Accessibility Inspector to view the Enter Customer Information view. Repeat steps 5 through 6 to close the Accessibility Inspector and advance the case to the next step. Repeat steps 2 through 6 to advance the case through the remainder of the case steps using the Accessibility Inspector to display each view as seen by the user with a corresponding color vision impairment. After resolve the case, in the upper left corner of the Accessibility Inspector pane, click Close to close the Accessibility Inspector and restore the original unimpaired display. So basically what they're, so just to kind of make sure that you are aware of everything that's kind of going on, we can't proceed through the next step because the Accessibility Inspector is active right at this moment in time. So, so we're going to need to kind of close out the Accessibility Inspector, move on to the next step, and then we can open it right back up again to kind of show, the absence of color, red-green confusion, and then, yellow-blue confusion. So it's like, okay, interesting to note on this about the color vision. Now, one of the things that they're also addressing here, you also see here, but they're not addressing that in the accessibility features, which I find it's kind of unfortunate, that they're not going over more of the inspector, especially when it's like, they only give you one task on it. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, sure, you can do this through multiple steps, but you kind of see already what the changes in the colors are all about here. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that, you can't do that, you might want to consider doing this for every step anyway, right? Um, but I mean, at least here you can see the fact that, hey, you have some icons here that aren't, um, that has no um, helper text or labels, you know. Um, so obviously that's not great for anybody that might be, blind, for example, right? You have something like a screen reader that's, reading through the screen for you. Um, Provide an associated label. Nothing there for that. Um, Maybe missing a header. So, and there's 71 of these. You know, there's that's missing a header. This section that's missing a header. You know, now, do you need to provide a header for all these? Probably, not necessarily, but you might want to consider doing that. You know, they put these in there for a reason. That, hey, each one of these might potentially be read by a screen reader to someone that's blind. So, you might want to consider having, um, some additional details for that particular section, right? Yeah, load screen setting is recommended when using menu action. So, um, screen readers interpret all capital letters as initials. Use platform helper class text uppercase instead. So, instead of having um, so basically instead of having the text here, with a capital letter of R, for example, they're saying that, that could be, um, misinterpreted as, being initials, for like maybe a name or something like that. So maybe, you know, make sure that you use the text uppercase, you know, to kind of get past that, or let the screen reader know that no, this is just a capitalized word. That's it. Not anything to do with a person's initials. So, um, you got some out of order headers. And of course, you got tab group layouts are deprecated. Use layout groups instead. So, yeah, so, um, so this right here is their tab layout, tab group layout. And it's like, well, that's deprecated. Okay, then why are you guys still using it? you know, if it's deprecated, then maybe stop using it. you know, follow your own examples. But all right, that's that is going to be the end of the accessibility inspector. Now, obviously, um, do you need to change every single last one of these? Probably not. But could they be a help? Yeah, they could be. You just need to make sure that you know, take care of that. You know, so. But that's going to be it for today's Pega study session. We're gonna go ahead and close this down for the Unreal, but obviously I'm very early for the Unreal, so we're just gonna kind of relax for a little bit of time. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the video here in just a second. Um, but just know that if you have any kind of questions about this, or if there's something that you might want to add, feel free. Um, don't forget to, continue working on, like, moving through each of these sections to um, kind of see what you kind of need to do on this as well. So, okay. Matter of fact, I thought I was on the enter customer information screen. I wonder what happened there. Hmm. Hmm. That's a little weird. Oh well. But yeah, make sure that go through each one of these, and just to kind of see, what, how the compatibility inspector, changes based off of, what screen you're on, right? So hopefully you can get um, you know, you can get some pretty good ideas as to what, you're going to need to kind of do while on your job. Make sure that you handle this in such a way where, hey, does the accessibility inspector, look good for everything that you put down into the um, application itself. The fact that you have some um, you know Pega work itself that doesn't have, that might be having their own um, issues with accessibility is kind of hilarious, to be honest. Um, the fact that you don't really have that, they're flagging some of these spots that, apparently doesn't have any labels whatsoever. So, you know, so maybe they need to take a look at their instances a little bit more. But um, that's going to be it for today's Pega study session. We're going to go ahead and close on down. We're going to go ahead and mark this complete. Um, no, I'm not going to bother going through each and every single last step and going through each and every single last one of the disability previews to, see what happens. I can clearly see, you know, just on like the first 2 pages, what could be happening there. Now, is it going to be perfect for everything? No, of course not. But here's the thing. When you're on a job and you need to put up something new like this, then you better make sure that you get, um, you run that feature, you run that inspector on everything that you just made, so you don't have any problems with that in the future. So, um, but yeah, tomorrow we're going to be working on the next topic of simulating an external data source. So look forward to that. I'm not gonna bother trying to tackle this because there's most likely quite a bit of information here that I'm gonna need to process and state, concisely. So we're gonna save that for next time. So. But that's it for our Pega study session. Like I said, we're going to move on to the Unreal session here shortly. But again, we're not rushing. We still got like 10 more minutes before I normally join up with Blackheart. So no rush on his end either. If he's watching this right now, then no, don't rush. We'll start on time. At 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. his time, whatever. Um, so we'll get to that. Okay. So, now for those of you that are watching these videos on YouTube, feel free to check out the description for various links that I've put there. Links to my Discord, links to websites that help me out directly, such as Patreon and Throne. There's also a link to the Stream Team application page for your consideration. Would love to have more people on the team, join up on the team, streamers and non-streamers alike. You're all welcome on the team. Just go through the. Uh, I've obviously I put a lot of information down on the mission statement, the description of what the team is all about. Um, go ahead and look through that if you want to. Um, there's a lot of information there, but um, the idea behind you know um, the idea is mainly for getting like-minded individuals together, and if we can spend a little bit of time every week, just like maybe just an hour at most, helping each other out, then well, we're helping lift everybody up. And I feel that that's something to strive for. That's something that would be fantastic. So, um, it's not just about me. Okay, it's about everybody that's on the team. Okay, I want everybody on the team to feel like they are um, getting the most out of the team. It's not there yet. I will admit that, it's not there. Um, I want to see, I would love to see more. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. Just need more members to get there. So, um, there's only so much I can do by myself. And I don't expect everybody else on the team to be, trying to tackle everything themselves either. Okay. So, um, you just do what you can when you can, and that's it. Okay. So, um, just hoping for a strong community along those lines. So, hopefully that, entices you. So, But that's it. That's where we're going to go ahead and close on down for today's Pega stream. So I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Didn't have any chatters, but that's okay. If you were just kind of still watching and lurking in the background, I want to thank you for being here as well. I appreciate you being here. So that's going to be it for today's Pega session. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope I catch you next time. Until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.